Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. I got another great and amazing guest, attorneys, business owners. You're going to want to hear about my guest. But first, as always, I got to get into his bio. So starting off, my guest has been helping law firms and attorneys and professional service business owners for the past decade with a focus on developing their branding, marketing for new clients, and predictably growing the revenues and online authority for his clients, who have earned millions of dollars worth of new business as a result of his frameworks and tactics. Today is the CEO at Geek Haus, a law firm marketing agency based out of Los Angeles, earning an MBA from Pepperdine University in beautiful Southern California, combined with in-house law firm experience and demonstrated results has set the foundation for my next guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, Leonard Scheiner of Geek Haus. Leonard, how are you doing today, my man?
I am doing and feeling great, Daniel. Thanks for having me on your show today.
Oh, listen, man, it's an honor. And for the fact that the folks that have been following me, law school is in the future. So hearing about this, I'm like, I'm going to be working with Leonard. I need him on the show. So I need him on. So with that, Leonard, I did my research, but folks at home, they're probably like, Geek Haus, what's that about? What? You spelled house wrong. So tell me a story. What got you involved 10 years ago that you decided I need to be helping some folks with their marketing branding, specifically those business owners and attorneys. So you have the floor, my good friend.
So I really did start off as just your regular, everyday kind of Joe that fell into law. And so it started by me taking a internship position at a law firm when I started in undergrad. And this was many, many years ago. And I really loved that the legal industry, but you really got to see it inside a law firm, put the boundaries and the protocol across every area of life, whether you are, getting into a new relationship and you need a prenup, or you're getting out of a relationship and need a divorce, or whether you've got lots of money and you need asset protection, or you have no money and need bankruptcy, and basically everywhere in between, attorneys help people move themselves forward in life, hopefully for the better. And so I knew that being in-house at a law firm was going to let me get my paws on all of those little details that were of interest to me just as a human. But I knew that from a professional standpoint, that legal is recession-proof. It is never going away. And what we've seen in the past few years is that overnight, an industry can be wiped out. And so when I was looking for a industry, a role to go into, and this was, 15 years ago, right? This was way before any recent events had happened, but I knew that I wanted to go into an industry that was really stable. And so law provided that stability. And so I was in-house working as, a marketing coordinator, a marketing manager, a director of marketing, and I held all of the different roles within marketing in a firm. And so I fell in love. I fell in love. I liked the idea that it was taking people's expertise and packaging it in a way that was impactful and made a difference in someone else's life. And so that led me to found the agency Geek Haus, and we do spell house a little bit differently. We spell it the German way, so we spell it H-A-U-S, so Geek Haus. And so I like to say that we're, a house full of geeks. We like to get technical, we like to get into strategy, we like to make our decisions based on data, and ultimately serve our clients so that our clients, those being attorneys, can go out and serve more people. So that's kind of our short story and how we got here today. We fell into it, loved it, and doubled down, and that's what we're doing.
I love that. I love that. Now, for the subliminal messaging of marketing, your website, can you give us your website and let the audience know when they go to the website, what are they pretty much expecting when they get there?
Yeah, our website is gogeekhaus.com. So go, G-O, geek, G-E-E-K, and then house, H-A-U-S, gogeekhaus.com. And we're all about solving problems. A lot of marketing companies come in and they tell you what's wrong, right? They want to do an audit. They want to look at your strategy. And that's wonderful. But if you walk away from a conversation knowing what's wrong, but then not knowing how to fix it, well, that's a problem. So I'm all about giving tangible, actionable advice to our clients. And even if we're consulting and we don't end up working together, at least they left with some additional knowledge. And they probably have a little bit of homework too, because I just like giving homework to people to see them better themselves. It's kind of an addiction, but a good addiction.
I love that. I love that. Now, how does a business, afford marketing? Because everybody's heard the concept shoestring on a budget. Practically, you could post on IG, Facebook, what have you, for free. But some folks are like, I just can't get past the current budget I have right now. So that runs into like, marketing's at the bottom of the list. But yet folks can still, I guess, have profitable campaigns that still pay for themselves. So I guess, how do you guys work that, where it's like, hey, I'm not putting the money out, but if I am putting the money out, I'm getting the return on investment. How are you guys doing that?
It's a great question. And it's a question that many young entrepreneurs have, right? It's like, okay, I've heard the saying that I need to spend money to make money, but I need to make sure that if I'm spending money, it is making me money. And
Yeah.
so often those two items are not connected. And so when we are looking at a law firm, but this also translates to other professional services, right? So whether you're a law firm and you're a lawyer, or you're a realtor, or you're a doctor, like a specialty doctor, or maybe you're a financial advisor, or you're an architect, what every one of those professions has in common is that they're selling themselves, right? Like me, I sell my expertise. A realtor sells their expertise of the market in working with their client. An attorney sells their expertise and their experience of solving these types of problems, and then clients come to them to solve that type of problem. So we need to make sure as professionals that if we're spending marketing, then spending money on marketing, that we're actually seeing a return, right? So people say, well, what's a good amount to spend on marketing? Well, typically it's a formula, right? We want to see somewhere around, if it depends on the size of the firm, but somewhere between 10 to 20% being spent on marketing. Now, 20 is on the higher side, 10 is on the lower side, but somewhere in there is that happy medium, right? So it's more of a formula. So what I say is look at what your revenue is, and then say, what does 10 to 20% of that look like? Okay, and if you're running on that short of a budget where you can't give 10% to reinvest into yourself, then that's okay. No judgment, because that's where you are now, but that's where we want to be getting towards, right? And I'd also say, let's work on getting your bottom line increased so that you don't have to be uneasy about dedicating 10, 15, 20% to marketing. Then on the other side of things, when you are doing marketing, make sure that you've asked the hard questions. Make sure that you're hiring someone who is experienced in doing exactly what you're doing or trying to accomplish, right? So if you've got a buddy who builds e-com websites and does marketing for e-com websites, don't hire that person to do your real estate website. Don't hire that person to do your real estate marketing, because they're not selling a $20 lipstick, they're selling a home. It's a completely different buying process. So in short, it's a formula, but also make sure that you've got some good data in there as well, some good experience, so that you're hedging your bets positively.
No, and I think the gem alone, because some people just don't even start with that. They're looking at, well, maybe should I be spending half of what I bring in on marketing, or some people are like, well, I want to keep it low. Maybe it should be only 1%. And it's like, no, 10 to 20. And if you're not there, like you said, get there, do what you need to do to get to that point. So that way you get the return on investment. So I appreciate that, Jim, there. Now, for the lawyers who are listening, how does a law firm get new clients? And I'm taking notes as well for the future.
Well, there's many channels that a law firm can use to get new clients. We want to look at probably the categories. So we've got a large category of ways that we can get clients through paid ads. right? So that's legal service ads, or LSA, which is a form of advertising on Google. There's PPC, pay-per-click, which is typically attributed with Google ads. And there's other ways like Facebook ads, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube ads. There's lots of different ads that can be run for new business for attorneys. On the other category, what we're looking at is the more organic way of bringing in new business. So that can be referrals, but that can also be giving talks like keynote talks, talks at a community center, to a business group, appearing on a webinar, being a guest on someone else's webinar. So there's lots of different ways that we can, without spending ad spend. So we call that organic, even though it's still digital, right? But there's organic ways to go about building a law firm. Now, which is better, the paid or the organic route? They're both good. One obviously costs money up front. The other one, you're going to spend your time, which if you've got a full book of clients, it might be your burn rate, right? So then it's what makes more sense. Am I going to spend X amount on, let's just say, Google ads, and then get the X amount of clients? Does that make more sense? Or does it make more sense to go speak at a lunch and learn, or cultivate referral relationships? It's going to be different based on the area of law that you practice, also your geographic area, and based on you. So there's lots of different considerations and paths that can go.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't want our folks to think that it's, just that one industry. If you're trying to expose yourself in brand and marketing, I mean, I just even wrote it down for myself, talks in a community center. It's like, hence, yeah, I run a podcast. I have been featured as a guest, but taking that additional organic approach, because that leads to that word of mouth referrals. Like, oh yeah, I heard him talk at a community center. Don't know too much about the real estate, but yeah, it starts that conversation about you. So I appreciate that, even just for myself. One other tip, or one other question I should ask, how can a law firm or lawyer, especially if they're by themselves, get better quality candidates more consistently? Because they might be doing the formula, but for a while, it's like, I'm getting beaten over the head by somebody who's looking for either a quick payout, or it's just that wrong type of client. So how does someone, I guess, stay consistent with those quality candidates?
Great question. So I hear that all the time, because my clients who are attorneys, they will say, we got a whole bunch of leads, but they just weren't good quality, right? And so in our consultation, I'm asking them questions like, well, where are you sending your people, right? This is before we work together, and they're like, we're doing marketing. It's working because we're getting something out of it, but what we're getting out is kind of like sand, right? It's not really worth anything. And so what I'm usually speaking about in that consultation is one, follow-up, right? And then the other thing is really, what is their journey that they took from the ad, or however they first knew about you, to getting on a phone with you, right? And so let's adjust that, or let's kind of adjust our thinking and handle that one by one. So on the follow-up side, if you get a new lead, in law, we call them potential clients. So if you get a new PC, a new potential client, and you've reached out to them once at 6 p.m. on a Thursday, and then you've never reached out to them again, maybe they were eating dinner. Maybe your phone number came up and then they were, busy, and you didn't leave a message, so they didn't call you back. If a number calls me, I'm not going to call them back. Probably was a butt dial or wrong number. Yeah. So are you following up with the leads? Are you treating these leads like as they should be, as humans, as souls on the other side that you care about because you want to serve them? Do you want to get the client? Do you want to close the sale? Yes. I'm not saying that that's not happening, right? But at the core basis, if you're just sale, 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 you're probably not an attorney, right? Because you're wanting to help people. That's why you got into the profession. But are you really following up with these people as much as it takes to build a relationship with them to a level where they feel comfortable communicating with you? or hiring with you, right? So let's say, Daniel, you and I we're going to go and have dinner, right? How much do I
Yes.
need to know you to go have a bite? Probably not that much, right?
No, I'm a foodie. Of course,
Yeah,
we would
we
agree to
can go
dinner.
have lunch, go have coffee. Yeah. But what if I said, hey, Daniel, let's go on a 3-month vacation together? How much would you need to know me? And in return, how much would I need to know you to go on a 3-month vacation, right? It's kind of
Yeah,
like
let me
dating before
spend some
marriage.
time.
Yeah. So if we are wanting clients to hire us, we need to have some type of connection with them. The connection that we build is directly related to the currency in our bank account. If you do not have connection, you will not have currency. Simple as that. So when we're looking at following up, we know that it takes somewhere between 7 to 17. Let that sink in. 7 to 17 touch points for someone to make the decision to hire. So if I'm going to go and I'm hiring someone to come clean my car, maybe I need a few touch points, right? That's a low intimacy purchase. But if I'm asking someone to become a client of my law firm or, my real estate firm too, I'm asking for a multi-month commitment, right?
Wow.
Because it's going to take that long to deliver the services, to build their brand, to build their website, to, build up their press profile, to get them featured in publications, to launch them, to have an event. All of these things are going to take a few months to get in line. And so we get to work with our clients during that time. So there's got to be a level of connection, of a relationship where they feel okay to make that crossing that finish line with you. So that's the follow-up, right? Are you following up? Are you calling them in the morning, in the evening, midday? Maybe you carve out 2 hours on a Saturday if you're really hustling, and smile and dial on a Saturday, right? I will be amazed, and you will be amazed how many people will pick up their phone because it's not business hours, right? So are you really showing up for your people like you want them to show up for you? That's really the essence, right? Do you deserve this client? Have you followed up with them enough to a point where you deserve that client? Okay, so that's our first one, right? Follow up. That's how we get
The
better
gems,
clients.
the gems were just dropping left and right, Leonard. I'm loving it. Keep going, man. Keep going.
Build that relationship. That is for sure. So that's our first point. It's how we're going to get better clients, right? Because if we've done that, the not great clients are just going to fall by the wayside, right? But what we often experience in law is that we get a lot of tire kickers, right? I've got a problem, but it doesn't really come to the level of liability or to the level where it makes sense to open a case or a claim. And so how we handle that on the other side is, what if these are great qualified clients? What if they're wonderful? What if the connection that you've built is great? But what if they are not qualified for what you need? So whether you're an employment attorney or a divorce attorney, but you only handle military divorces, or if you're a personal injury attorney, but you don't really do medical malpractice, right? That's under the personal injury umbrella, but maybe you're specialized or focused in one area or not. Well, each firm has their specific criteria about what's the ideal client for them, right? You might not be a good client for firm A, but you might be a fantastic client for firm B. So if I'm firm A, how do I get better clients along the way before I'm on the phone with them? Fantastic. So how we do that is informing them what we help with. So when they come in as a lead, let's just say they came in through Google. I want to send them maybe 2 or 3 emails within the first 24 hours that they came into the top of my funnel. When they came in as a lead, when they submitted a form, when they clicked that button, the first time that they said yes and put their hand up to start the process, I want to give them an abundance of information. I want to tell them who I am. I want to establish my credibility and my authority, my expertise. But I also want to tell them who this is for and who this is not for. So if I was a personal injury attorney and I did not handle any medical malpractice, I would put in those emails, personal injury pain point, personal injury pain point, personal injury pain point. I'm the solution. Oh, but if this happened at work, you probably have a special situation. So please click here for something to that regard. And it diverts them to maybe a referral relationship manager, right? Because I'm going to refer those out as a law firm so that we can get our referral fees. That's another stream of income. I paid for the ad to come in. We own that lead, but I'm going to realize that since it's happening at work, that we need to sort that person out. And I'm going to have a girl or gal in my, a girl or guy in my office, and they're going to pick up those calls because I don't need to send them to an attorney for a consultation because I already know since they clicked that, they're not a traditional qualified client. They're different. So we're going to handle them again with care. And we're going to say, great, you don't fit our firm A, but we're going to pass you. We have a relationship with firm B. So we're going to pass you over to firm B. And guess what? Whatever that firm does with them, fantastic. They serve them, they use their expertise, and we still get our referral fee. Now, our referral fee would likely be more than the ad spend that we expended to get that in. So just at the very first, episode of that happening, we've already had an ROI, even when the client wasn't a fit for our firm.
The blueprint alone, I felt like there was a whole book that was just crammed in that amount of time. So thank you, Leonard. I mean, I just appreciate your expertise on this because people are stuck. I thought that, everybody was at home looking at YouTube and trying to better themselves, but folks were just really checking out Netflix and Hulu and catching the latest episode of here and there. And now it's like, hey, I got a business to run, or, I have a profession to get out there in the world. And you just describe what you need to do to get done. So before we move forward in the questions, another, shameless plugging. Can you give us the website one more time, Leonard?
Yeah, our website, which focuses on taking your to-do list and making it a to-done list, go geekhaus.com. So go Geek Haus, we spell H-A-U-S, go geekhaus.com.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And my next question, and we kind of like touched on a little bit as far as about it, in your opinion, and just from your point of view, why is branding so important? Or I should even be more clear about it. Why is digital branding so important?
I like the layered question. I love it. I love it. So branding is important. I think I can just put that out there as a fact. Digital branding and branding today are seen as one and the same. Everything that we experience today has a digital component, right? So if I called, the office of a law firm, if I called a real estate firm and I was like, hello, right? Where did I get that number from? Probably from Google Maps or from Yelp, or I went to your website, right? So there's a digital component nearly to everything today. So when it comes to branding, most people, especially most professionals, think that branding is, okay, my logo and my colors. And then I need to make sure that the colors on my website match the colors of my business cards, match the color of my folders, match the color of the shirt in my photo shoot. Yes to all of that, but then there's more. Right. So when I'm looking at branding, I'm looking at, does your main telephone number of your firm have 4 random numbers that it ends in? Or does the ending numbers of your firm have 2 zeros or 3 zeros? So it's, whatever, 9,000 or whatever, 9,900, right? Small details like that at a glance will make your perceived value elevated. If I'm looking at Daniel's firm, or if I'm looking at Bob's firm, and Bob's firm has 20 different numbers and it's all kind of wacky, okay. But if I come to Daniel's firm and he has, whatever, 9,000, and then your fax number is 9,001, and then your direct dial is 9010, and maybe your other associate is 9020, 9030, 9040. right? We're looking for a block, but more importantly, the main number. And
Yeah.
so many businesses miss that small step, right? That's one step of many. But I'm picking that out because it's really tangible and illustratable how every little brick really makes the wall. And if you're missing one of these bricks, you can still have a wall, but there's going to be holes in it.
I
And
was
so
gonna say
someone
it's
like
gonna be a
me,
nice little hole at the bottom. You're gonna, oh, that's what you got going on in there?
yep, yep. So someone like me, if we're starting brand new, I can create a brand from zero and make sure that the wall has no holes in it. But usually our clients are already up and in operation and they've already got things going. And so what my agency does is work with them to not only just fill in those holes, but okay, how do we make the wall even better, right? So in this digital age, people don't buy from companies. They buy from individuals. Unless you're like Costco or, I guess we could even say for Apple, right? People are buying Apple, but they used to buy Steve Jobs.
Right.
Now they buy
Yeah.
Tim Cook, kind of, maybe, but they're really still buying Steve Jobs, right? And so I guess I should say people buy easier from other people. They don't buy as easily from companies. And so no matter who you are, if you have this big law firm behind you or this big, brand behind you, we want to make sure that ourselves as the face of the brand still have a good attune to what's happening. And so how we create that brand is some of those technical items, a logo, colors, fonts, all of that identity, yes, but it's how people interact with your brand. It is how people feel when they get your voicemail, when they see your a phone number there. And really, it's deeper than that in the sense of, okay, how are you specifically different than your next best competitor, right? Let's just stick with the same example. We have two real estate firms or two personal injury firms. What makes one better than the other? I don't know unless I sit there. I don't know unless I know them.
Right.
But how I can judge as a consumer, I'm going to judge based on my perception of them. And so when we're building out a website, when we're building out a brand, we want to make sure that we can have some of that person's voice in there, right? Like I talk a lot about marketing and branding and public relations, professionally. But throughout all of those, the common thread is, how are you showing up for yourself? How are you taking the power that you have today and choosing to put yourself in the realm of like playing the game, right? Brene Brown would say that. Brene Brown says, you can only be judged if you're actually in the arena playing the game too. And so that's really what we want to do for our clients.
I love that. I love that, Leonard. Thank you so much. I got to wrap up here, but I do have one question, and it's really in regards to motivation. Who are your personal marketing mentors and leaders that you look up to?
So I will say Russell Brunson. I mean, that's just got to be, he's pretty tried and true, I would say, in my mind. So Russell Brunson is the founder of ClickFunnels, or I should say one of the founders of ClickFunnels. And years ago, I don't know if he still holds them, but he held one funnel away challenges. And it was a great way to build community, but also get your paws wet in building a funnel and connecting it all and doing all that stuff, something that business school never taught me. I had to learn that on my own. So I like Russell Brunson because he's built that company up and then it's fallen and then he's built it again. And I think he's rebuilt that company 3 or 4 times. Also a great marketing mind. He was one of the great direct response marketing minds. And so he being one, the other one I would say is Neil Patel. So probably more impactful for people of like you and I, right? Where we're professionals in the sense of selling our expertise. Neil Patel is great because he brings in how SEO and design and traffic, how all those things connect. And he does a really great job. So just like how you had mentioned, it was like a book that was kind of condensed down. He does the same way. So I love listening to Neil speak. It's just really great information condensed.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, Leonard, again, thank you again so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming on the radio show. Definitely looking forward to having you come back on, share some more marketing gems that you could share. I think that not only applies to attorneys, but I think anybody in some type of professional service where you're dealing with clients. So gem after gem, ladies and gentlemen, was being dropped today. So Leonard, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Daniel. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you for tuning in to the RNG Radio Show. Be sure to like and subscribe for more episodes and future content. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at danielumstead.com. Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires.